ceremony for this prestigious occasion. At the very outset, let us invoke the boundless grace and divine blessings of His Holiness Jagadguru Sri Shivaratri Deshikela Mahaswamijigalavaru, the revered pontiff of Jagadguru Sri Veerasimhasana Mahasamsthana Math, Sutturu Sri Kshetra, whose spiritual mission, compassionate leadership and unwavering dedication towards education continue to illuminate countless lives. Good morning to one and all. Respected dignitaries on and off the dais, distinguished faculty members, esteemed jury members, honored guests, brilliant innovators and my dear students. It gives me immense joy, pride and privilege to welcome you all to the grand inauguration of SruJSShti 2026 EC Hackathon, organized by the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, JSS Science and Technology University, Mysore. Today, we do not merely inaugurate an event, but we ignite imagination, we celebrate innovation, and we empower young minds to engineer the future. Ladies and gentlemen, let us begin this inspiring journey with a huge round of applause. Every auspicious beginning seeks divine blessings. To invoke divine grace upon this gathering and seek blessings for the success of SruJSShti 2026, we now begin with an invocation rendered by Ms. Siri Sanjay B. May the melody of devotion fill this occasion with peace, wisdom, and auspiciousness.
Good morning, everyone. Omkareshwara Vinayaka Jaya Gananatha Gajavadhana Mangaladata Bhavaharanam Suramuni Sevita Shukhacharanam Omkareshwara Vinayaka Jaya Gananatha Gajavadhana Mangaladata Bhavaharanam Suramuni Sevita Shukhacharanam Omkareshwara Vinayaka Akara Charana Vishwambharana Ukara Lambodhara Vikarana Magara Mastaka Shiva Shiva Smarana Magara Mastaka Shiva Shiva Smarana Jaya Jaya Pranave Shaisha Jaya Jaya Pranave Shaisha Omkareshwara Vinayaka Pashankushadhara Papa Vimochana Rakshisu Yammanu Gajanana Lambodharane Nambedaninnan Lambodharane Nambedaninnan Bembida Bedavu Gajanana Bembida Bedavu Gajanana Omkareshwara Vinayaka Jaya Gananatha Gajavadhana Mangaladata Bhavaharanam Suramuni Sevita Shukhacharanam Omkareshwara Vinayaka Vinayaka Vinayaka. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the beautiful invitation. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, lead us from darkness to light. The ceremonial lamp symbolizes knowledge, wisdom, and enlightenment. May I respectfully invite our esteemed dignitaries for the lighting of the lamp. Plus, our Honorable Vice Chancellor is yet to arrive, so let's wait for another 5 minutes. Please be seated.
Siri, ತಗೊಂಬನ್ನಿ ಟ್ರೇನೇ ತಗೊಂಡು ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. इधर बंटी
Vision creates institutions, leadership builds excellence. To deliver the welcome address, I respectfully invite Dr. Sudarshan Patil Kulkarni, Professor and Head, Department of Electronics and Communications.
Very good morning, one and all. Seek the blessings of Shri Guru Parampara. And I welcome each one of you to this unique event, SruJSShti Hackathon 2026. So it's my great pleasure to welcome our Honorable Chief Guest, Srinath Rangaswamy. He's an entrepreneur with, in the domain of AI, automation, consulting, and implementation, with a long experience in industry, having wide experience in automation, aerospace electronics, and so a detailed profile will provide. First and foremost, let me welcome the chief guest with a bouquet. Tanmay and Tanushree will offer the bouquet. I sincerely welcome our Honorable Vice Principal, Professor Mallu, who is also Dean, and please come with the book. I wholeheartedly welcome our Dean Research, Dr. Manjunath Aradhya, for accepting to come to this meeting. I welcome on all the honorable jury members, particularly Murali, yes. Yes. Yes, please. Gautami J. So they have a very challenging task ahead to evaluate all of you. And Navya S. in absentia. So, most importantly, I welcome all the participants who have come throughout India and within Karnataka. I hope we will be the good host and you will enjoy our hospitality and you will have a good spirited competitive hackathon experience for the next 24 hours. So I welcome all the honorable, our colleagues, faculty members, student volunteers who also have a challenging task ahead for the next 24 hours. I wish, I request all of your cooperation to making this event happen. Thank you. Let's have a good 24 hours hackathon event. Thank you. We'll just wait for Honorable Vice Chancellor and Registrar to arrive for the lamp lighting ceremony.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Gayatri, coordinator of this hackathon program. Respected dignitaries on the dais. I'll just give an introduction about evaluation process and about the SruJSShti. Electronics and Communication System Engineering is rapidly evolving field that brings hardware and software to build intelligent systems. SruJSShti 2026, a 24-hour hackathon organized by the Department of E&C, offers a platform for students to innovate, solve and real-world problems. The event focuses on key domains like artificial intelligence, IoT, embedded systems and signal processing communication. Encouraging participants to apply their knowledge in a competition world, it promotes teamwork, critical thinking and rapid prototyping under time constraints. Additionally, the hackathon fosters interaction with mentors, peers, enhancing learning, networking and collaboration. So SruJSShti 2026 is a 24 hours non-stop hackathon that brings together creative minds to innovate and solve real-world problems. It provides a dynamic platform for participants to collaborate, experiment, to build impactful solutions in a fast, rapid environment. The hackathon encourages hands-on learning, rapid prototyping, and problem solving, enabling participants to turn ideas into practical implementations. With guidance from mentors and opportunities for teamwork, it fosters creativity, innovation, and technical growth. So the following facilities will be provided during the SruJSShti Hackathon 2026 from Saturday 11 o'clock to Sunday 11. So 24 hours time will be given. And we have provided internet Wi-Fi facility, charging facilities, food and refreshments. Participants are requested to cooperate and make proper use of facilities provided throughout the event. And hackathon evaluation process consists of the following 4 steps. First is ideathon round. So there you need to present their problem statement, solution idea, uniqueness and implementation approach. That will be for maximum 2 to 3 minutes in front of your jury members. Second round will be the prototype round. That will be evaluated 9th May at 5 p.m. Okay. Teams are expected to develop and showcase the initial working prototype model of their solution. And third round will be proof of concept. That will be evaluated on Sunday, that is on 10th May, 7 a.m. Participant must demonstrate the feasibility and practical implementation of their project with proper functionality. And the last round, which is an entrepreneur pitch, that will be evaluated at 11 o'clock. Once the time is over, so the jury members are going to see the facilities, that is the project which is useful for, that is the theme which is given. The teams will be present their project as a startup, business idea, explaining the impact, scalability, target users and future scope. So each round evaluation will be conducted for maximum 3 minutes only, and participants are requested to prepare their presentation, demos and explanation according to ensure all key points covered within the given time limits. Thank you. If you have any doubts Our volunteers will be there, student volunteers as well as faculties. So you can ask them any requirement if you want. Please make use of the facility. Thank you.
I wholeheartedly welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. E.N. Santosh Kumar, sir. I request Dr. S.P. Rudraswamy, sir, to offer the book. I also welcome our Honorable Registrar, Dr. S. Raj. I request Professor Tyagaraja Murthy to hand over the book. Now we will continue the program. Thank you all for the patience.
Lead us from darkness to light. The ceremonial lamp symbolizes knowledge, wisdom, and enlightenment. May I respectfully invite our esteemed dignitaries for the lighting of the lamp. Please rise.
Madam. Oh, thank you. Kela? These three are jury members.
Yeah. Good.
Participants Begavani.
Now I request Dr. P.S. Siddhartha Kumar to kindly welcome our head of the Thank you, ma'am. Ideas transform into impact only when given the right platform. To brief us about the SruJSShti 2026, now I invite Professor SruJSShti.
Seeking the divine blessings and offering my humble pranams to this holiness, Jagad SruJSShti Deshikaya Mahaswamiji. A very good morning to everyone present here. Respected dignitaries on and off the dais, esteemed faculty members, jury members, participants, and media friends, a warm welcome to all of you. Today marks a proud and exciting moment as we gather for the inauguration of SruJSShti 2026, the EC Hackathon organized by the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Laser Science and Technology University. This hackathon is not just a competition, it's a celebration of innovation, creativity, teamwork, and technological excellence. Hackathon like this provides a platform for young minds to transform ideas into impactful solutions for real-world challenges. We are delighted to share that 40 teams comprising around 150 plus participants from various institutions across Karnataka and beyond are taking part in this grand 24-hour non-stop hackathon. The enthusiasm and the energy gathered here truly reflect the spirit of innovation and the bright future of technology. This event focuses mainly on emerging and impactful domains such as artificial intelligence, IoT, signal processing, communication system, hardware design, and software innovation. So participants are encouraged to think beyond their textbooks, challenges, conventional ideas, and develop solutions that can positively contribute to the society and the future technologies. The hackathon evaluation process being carefully designed to test not only the technical knowledge but also the creativity, the implementation capability, teamwork, and entrepreneurial thinking. The event consists of four important stages. The first stage being the ideation round, where teams are going to present their problem statement, innovative solution, uniqueness, and implementation strategy through a concise presentation. The second stage is prototype round, where participants showcase the initial working model of their project. The third stage is proof of concept round, where the team demonstrates the practical functionality of their solutions. And the final round is the entrepreneurial pitch. Here, the participants present their project as a startup ideas by explaining their impact, scalability, target users, and future scope. Through these stages, participants will gain valuable experience in problem solving, technical development, presentation skills, leadership, and innovation management. We are honored to have distinguished jury members who are proud alumni of our university, Mrs. Navya Somesh, Mr. Murliram, and Ms. Gautami J, along with Mr. Srinidhi from SJC STEP. Their industry expertise and guidance will undoubtedly inspire and motivate all the participants. Every great innovation in history once being a simple idea. Today's innovative concepts may become tomorrow's transformative technologies. This platform is an opportunity for every participant to dream bigger, innovate fearlessly, and create meaningful solutions that can make a real difference in this world. To all the participants, give the best, collaborate effectively, learn continuously, and most importantly, enjoy the journey of innovation at our campus. Once again, I welcome you all to SruJSShti 2026 and wish every team great success in the hackathon. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Gayatri HM to welcome our beloved principal. Thank you, ma'am. To introduce our esteemed chief guest, I invite Professor SruJSShti.
Good morning to all. Offering my humble pranamas to the Sutturu Guru Parampara, I am here to give a brief introduction about today's chief guest of the program. Srinath Rangaswamy is the co-founder of Digibull AI, an AI automation consulting and implementation agency in Mysuru. With over 20 years of international experience across India, the US and Europe, he specializes in AI-driven automation, ERP transformation and lead generation through SEO, ads, LinkedIn, and email. He has led consulting assignments for global brands like Ford, Volvo, and Cummins, and deep expertise in EMS, manufacturing, and automotive sectors. Srinath Rangaswamy is a passionate startup mentor, core committee member at Startup Leadership Program, and certified mentor with Bharatiya Yuva Shakti Trust. He is an early adopter of AI tools, prompt and skill frameworks and agentic AI platforms for workflow optimization. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now the moment we all eagerly await, I respectfully invite our chief guest, Mr. Srinath Rangaswamy, to address the participants.
Despite this being a digital world, we have to give out our business cards and our talk. At the outset, thank you for inviting me to this hackathon. Hackathon, ideathons, I think next week also I've been asked to come to some other college. They're getting more focused. We are also looking at students who are doing well in these hackathons. Because as I was talking here with the vice principal, human intelligence is shaped in two ways. This is what machine learning is all about. One is how well you are able to articulate a problem, and the second is how soon are you able to find a solution to that problem. With that said, good morning everybody. It's an honor to be back here at the Jesus. The last time I was here was about 20 years back. One of my colleagues was here. He had come here and I had come to meet him. My thanks to Department of ECE here for inviting me. Vice Chancellor Dr. Santosh Kumar, sir, for Registrar Dr. Dhanraj. Dr. Sudarshan HOD, thank you sir, Search D, and Dr. Gayatri. Thank you very much for inviting me and giving the opportunity for SruJSShti. So I don't see students here because average age of, if you look at it, the founders of Dell, NVIDIA, probably a little bit later, a lot of the founders, Facebook, Meta, even the Google founders, if you see the average age was about 21 or 21 and a half. And Oracle also, Larry Ellison, though he's in his 80s now. And if you see Y Combinator, I don't know how many of you heard about Y Combinator, one of the leading accelerators. The average age of person Y Combinator is 24. So quite often in India, because we are in engineering and then we say, hey, still 20 years or 21 years is still staying at a parent's house or something like that, we tend to undervalue. But I am actually very surprised and actually happy also to see more and more students who are even 17, 16 are already starting to see how they can use AI to be able to solve some of the problems. I looked at the problem statement here, and these problems have been there in India for a long time. One of the things is, first thing I looked at it, was very happy to see precision agriculture. I don't know how many of you know that compared to the land mass or whatever India has compared to China, we lag a lot behind China. and that is would be one of the problems for us. Also, we see there we have about 60% landless laborers. The problem of division of land, meaning that you are not able to use mechanized equipment, farm equipment, and this essentially wants you to do a lot of the work without mechanical equipment and even without the help of funding for your technology and all that. Hopefully, I've seen a lot of startups getting into the finance, agri, and health. So hopefully, the students like you will make change. Let me get back to the point. Wanted to focus on one of the things is you must have a lot of you must have heard about vibe coding the last few months. That is, people have been able to start projects, but after that it has gone into what we call prompt hell. Not able to complete, or there's so many issues with the code or with the particular app. After some time, they kind of abandon it, or they say, hey, we'll get somebody to fix the code that I've written. So the point that I try to make here is if you are not in control of your code, the code will be in control of you, AI will be in control. So you have to master. If you see the prompts answers, sometimes the AI is intelligent enough to guess what is your level. So based on, like I said, your ability to articulate the problem, AI then gives answers, because AI also wants to save tokens. A lot of it is like Ola, Uber. AI is subsidizing the answers, and you are just using it irrationally many times. But at some point, there will be rationalization of the tokens, and that is where it becomes important how we are able to articulate the problem. I see this as a problem for especially countries in Africa and all that. They definitely will not have the compute or the hardware for them to be able to take some of the decisions. So essentially, again, it will be dependent. As it is, AI is concentrated in 5 or 6 companies. If you see, it is Google, Nvidia, Amazon, Meta, OpenAI, and you see Claude, that is Anthropic. Basically, these 6 companies control almost all the resources. So unless you're able to use maybe a Chinese model or something in a local LLM way, you will be at the mercy of this. So it's very important for you to conserve tokens, because that will be a problem going forward. So what we did at our company was very different. So about 3 months back, I started to do some of the vibe coder projects myself. I will be 60 this December, but I see that AI has actually given me a second lease of life. I was always dependent on developers. Hey, it was also can you get it done? And they would say, sir, it will take time, sir, I'm busy, I have to do later. Now I essentially put this problem to AI and see, hey, how soon can it get done? What are the options for me? And then I show that we have actually TVs for each team. We have 3 teams, and we have a TV in front of each team, LED. So we just show them, we ask them to show it transparently. So these are some of the things that we are doing. So I built a couple of complex apps, but I realized that vibe coding is not the way. So what I did is I set up personally to go with a concept called zero dev. Zero dev means how can you, of course it's a mythical concept, but it's like zero emission. Like, why should we even have development to build a product? So the person, your product manager essentially becomes your coder, not your coder, essentially one who drives, and your Claude or your Gemini is your coder. So that is what we said. Hey, Claude is your coder. Tell Claude what to do. Don't ask Claude what needs to be done. Tell Claude that I need you to do these things. It has been very difficult to change the concept of the developer. They are always like from Stack Overflow. They have now come to, hey, can you help me fix this problem? So I have tried to tell them, don't ask how to fix the problem. Tell it to fix the problem. You tell Claude, hey, I want you to fix it. I don't know how you do it. I will give you enough tokens. You have to do it. So this is one of the change that I am trying to do. Reduce the development. So essentially, you don't even build a prototype. You just use an open source tool. and you use that as a UI, and then you have a chat GPT like interface, and then you start asking questions, and either the LLM answers or you build in the tribal knowledge or the intelligence to be able to do it. That's what sir was saying. It's going to be difficult in engineering. So what we will do in engineering is we will take in your DSP concepts or engineering concepts, or where you have, and we'll just try to push it across in a way for it to understand. Only thing is you cannot have a big problem. You have to break it into small chunks, what we call atomic tasks. All right. One of the that is one of the things. Let me quickly move. So there are two things I said at our philosophy at our company. One is this zero dev. Zero dev is take the developer out of the equation. So my team comes, sir, this developer is taking too long. He's saying this testing too long. So what I say is take that problem out of their hands, and you use Claude to do it. So that is the first concept that we are trying. The second is what we have introduced a concept called SRIM, that is Skills Runtime Implementation Manager. So essentially, like we talked about the engineering, everything is a skill with us. So everything is a skill. So what we do is we build the skills for a project. You take a workflow. There will be some 6 or 7 what you call. You take a scope of work document from a client. You will have 3 or 4 major workflows, and then 2 or 3 minor workflows. Then you see whether you can build the skills. You already have the skills for it or so. So essentially, think of it like a cassette player. You want Dr. Raj's song in Kannada, you can put that in. But you want Dr. P.B. Srinivas' older song, you just take out Dr. Raj's cassette and you put in P.B. Srinivas, and you will hear the same song, or maybe similar lyrics or a different song. So essentially, it's you have the cassette. You have only one cassette player. You can switch between Dr. Raj or P.B. Srinivas. So this is the concept that we are trying at our company. That is, one is through the skills. And what we are doing is we are using a lot of open source. I don't know how many of you, but this is one of the things. I'll come to a few things, like I'm trying to do a forecast of top 10 things that I think will be critical in the future. One of the things is open source. You go to GitHub or you go to NPM and you type in your requirement. There are hundreds of tools available. So you don't need to write code in Python or Fast API. You can just go and pull up one of these open source tools and just plug it into your what you call the SRIM, the Skills Runtime Manager. All right. So a few other things. Tools have become very important now. So a few tools I'm talking about. MCP, Model Context Protocol. Please note, some of you, I don't know how techy you are. You probably have used APIs a lot. But with this MCP, you have a structured way of working with APIs. Command line, people were talking of Unix, Linux, but the command line has come back into prominence now. A lot of you are still probably using the desktop, but command line is much faster. And of course, I'm seeing people now using mobile for doing the coding. So essentially, Claude has a mobile option. So you just go and start your in command line or your desktop, and then you can continue the code on your mobile. In fact, I don't advise this, but you can actually drive and on voice you can code. Okay, so things have changed a lot. I want you guys to think about yourself as engineers, not developers. So that is the beauty, that is the power that AI has given you guys. So please look at yourself. How we were talking about, sir, the vice principal. I am forecasting that things are going to be very difficult for the average student coming out of college. Let us not, we can try to sugarcoat it in any way we want. Things are going to be very difficult because the basic tasks can be done by AI. If that's the case, if you are not able to articulate the problem in English, now that is another problem that we have. I was at a college, another college, and 90% of the students are from middle class and other backgrounds, farming background. There is no way for them to be able to articulate a problem clearly in English in such a way that these LLMs understand. So though we want to get away from the British Raj or English, unfortunately we are again back to square one, or you have to weigh in Kannada or Telugu or Tamil to be able to translate that into English and then be able to hope that the translation is good enough for the LLM to understand. Here's a forecast of top 10 things I want you guys to, from my perspective. In 2015, I had done a similar forecast in an interview in Chennai, and I will just repeat what I mentioned in 2015. I think I got 4 out of the 5 correct. First, in 2015, this is not now, I had mentioned that bots will take over coding. This was my first forecast. My second forecast was UI UX will be a critical function going forward. Third, I said JavaScript is going to be used a lot. Fourth was India will go digital. Talking of pre the whatever demonetization and pre the other digital things. And fifth is I mentioned is Docker containers will be critical. If you can see, at least I've got 4 out of these 5 correct. So here's my forecast for the future next few years. First is my forecast is agentic AI is going to be the critical. That is agentic workflows. Just from AI agents to agentic workflow, this is going to be a lot of the tasks are going to be complex agentic workflows, and you have to be able to understand process flows and build it. Second is English language as coding language, obviously no. So ability to be able to articulate in English is my second forecast becomes very good. Third is fusion of hardware and software. Very important here we are ECE. So you can see companies like NVIDIA and Samsung are also making great strides, and I see a lot of fusion of hardware and software, and we are seeing more and more. We are seeing how can GPU, how can we use less so to say capacity, and to be able to run more tokens, 7 billion, 30, 40, 50 billion tokens in even a 16 GB system. Fourth is autonomous computing. One of the things was after 6 o'clock or in the weekends, you could not, people can switch off their computers and that is the end. But you got now concept like open cloud or cloud computer, what we call autonomous computing, or a few others are there. You can actually have your computer open and ask it to continue to work. So the computer becomes like a machine in a factory. So you can ask it to work and it will continue. So on Monday morning when you come back, it will say, hey, these are the tests I did, this is the list and all that. So essentially what happens is you are able to at least 1.5x the employee and the computer that you are given to him. I'm talking from an employer's perspective or even from a college perspective. You are able to harness more from the computer because the computer is your station and you are driving the computer because cloud is your developer. Okay, and the fifth one I'm talking about is you don't need 50, 60, 100 people to become a big company. You can have a single digit company, and because you can just have more and more systems. These systems become your developers. So you don't need to have 100. That's where I'm saying the problem or the concern is why will I need a 50? If I don't need 50 people, I will hire less. So that so I hope, sir, you are taking interest to see what can be done, because the person again the thing will be the smarter developer or the student who knows how to use AI again will have a edge over. As it is, they had a edge because they understand the soft skills better. They are already doing projects. Now with AI, they become the gap between the average student and the smarter student becomes even more. This is always the problem when I talk to placement students. They said as if the gap is too much, then what happens? It becomes much more difficult for us to place the average student. Open source was not so much useful in the last few years, but I think open source will make a comeback again. Because you essentially, like I said, the concept, you just bring the tool in and then use it. You don't have to write long Python code or fast API code. Then learning on device. So the device itself is learning, your system is learning. So essentially, it is able to make better decisions. It is able to understand, customize, personalized feedback. It's able to give skills. As I mentioned, it's very important. I think there's a concept of skills, but the skills I'm talking about is a tribal knowledge, to be able to build together the skills so that you can then, like the cassette player, you just switch one skill with the other, and you can, with the same UI, you can just ask the question and it answers. A GPU is going to be critical, especially a country like India, where power is going to be a problem. We don't have enough data centers. I think we have only about 60 or 65 data centers in India compared to about 25,000 or so in the US. So it will be a problem for us, and unless we are able to harness more from the GPUs, it will be a problem. The final thing I said is wipe to value. This is the last. Yes, I am done. I have told you, this is my last point. Wipe to value. Please get more out of the time you are spending. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir, for inspiring young innovators. As a token of gratitude and respect, we now felicitate our esteemed chief guest. My request our Honorable Vice Chancellor and all the dignitaries to kindly felicitate Mr. Srinath Rangaswamy. Thank you, sir. True information begins with visionary leadership. I respectfully invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. N. Santosh Kumar, to deliver the presidential address.
At the outset, I submit my most respectful pranams to the lotus feet of His Holiness, Jagadguru Shri Shivaratri Deshikendra Swamiji, and seek his divine blessings. Chief guest of today's function, Srinath Rangaswamy, my colleagues, Dr. S.A. Dhanraj, Registrar, C. Nataraju, the Principal, Vice Principal, Dr. P. Mallu, Dean Research, Dr. Manjunath Aradhya, Dr. Sudarshan Patil Kulkarni, Convener and HOD of ENC Department, Dr. Gayatri HM, the Associate Professor and Organizing Secretary, all my faculty friends, heads of the departments and other friends, and most importantly, all the participants of this EC Hackathon that is organized today and that has been just inaugurated now by our chief guest. Ellargu namaskara, very good morning to everyone. So very happy that the Department of ENC is organizing this hackathon on AI, IoT, signal processing, communication, etc. I was told by Dr. Patil that 150 students are participating in this, and there are 35 teams also from different parts who have assembled here. Our chief guest Srinath Rangaswamy has very well articulated, and he is also good forecaster. He has also forecasted 10 things now. So some of his things have come true. He says in the last. He is now talking about the power of GPU, which we all understand. Extremely important for a country like India. GPUs are still very expensive, right? Not many people can buy and start working on GPUs. He was also talking of the number of GPUs, the data centers that are available in this country compared to what we have in the US. In fact, I just want to inform some of you here who are not aware. Government of India has now asked data centers to stop because of the enormous amount of power that they are consuming. Most of them are all water cooled now. a place like Bangalore, like you don't have sufficient amount of water to run your data centers. So there are green data centers which are now being tried. One of them, I think, probably we are also we have initiated right here on this campus. Shortly, we'll have a green data center, so which is going to minimize the use of water. So natural cooling we are also trying here. Now coming to the problem statements itself, very carefully thought of. Whoever has given the problem statements, they're all the ones which are actually required. Society is today plagued by so many different types of problems. Every sections of the society, they have their own problems. When you have a technology, whether it is AI or whether it is semiconductor technology, chip technology, whatever you talk of, these are technologies which should help the mankind solve problems, right? Problems should be solved. You have new problems. Again, we need to have solutions for new problems. This is a continuous process, right? A huge country with so many different problems, right? I think we need to address this, and no better way than hackathons today. Today, hackathons, even Government of India is organizing hackathons today. They have realized the power of hackathons. Young minds coming together, coming out with solutions, right? These solutions, panel of jury, right? They will go through and they will assess the feasibility of some of these ideas. If possible, can be taken to the next level. It is now decided by most of the industries also. Their R&D cannot come out with solutions to their own problems or the problems of the world. So they are now falling back on these kind of hackathons where youngsters who are very creative, who can think out of the box, they are the ones who can give solutions now. I was just seeing some of the problem statements. Precision agriculture. India predominantly is an agrarian economy, right? Now we are changing the demographics, and we are also altering the economic area, but still a lot of people live in rural areas, and a lot of agricultural activities still take place. I was reading an article very recently. Even in a place like Zimbabwe, farming, they use technology to a very, very large extent. A farmer can be told what type of crop he should grow, where, when he should harvest, what kind of fertilizer he should use, when he should use. All these information is available to every farmer. Unfortunately, we are talking of AI, precision agriculture. Only a small portion of the farmers get this particular benefit. A large majority are still not getting benefit out of some of these tools and techniques. I think we should find solutions for that, because we don't have I'm talking of Zimbabwe. There are people who have 1,000 acres, 2,000 acres, very big farmers. But here in India, we have half an acre, 1 acre. They cultivate. They have their own problems. I think we should solve these kind of problems. Then healthcare. As we are going in for more and more urbanization, there are more and more issues with respect to health. Healthcare has become a major this one. Everywhere you see hospitals coming up, mushrooming. That is because health is so critical and important for all of us, and yet we neglect them to a very large extent. So now we are again dependent on AI for giving us solutions. So they're talking of remote patient monitoring systems. Possible, quite possible, already tried in different parts of the world now, very successfully, right? AI-based disease detection, right? AI-based, this is something which is catching up. A lot of people in fact IIT Guwahati and AIMS have come out with certain AI techniques which can detect large number of diseases, including cancer. This should become more and more popular. It should become reachable to the common man. That is when the solutions given by this AI and all these what we are talking of will be coming to the affordable and green energy itself. You are talking of low cost energy solutions, right? But still we are not. People are talking of solar energy, which has become quite efficient compared to 10-20 years back, like what kind of solar we have. It is definitely improved, but still we see a lot of things which need to be done. In terms of storage, the energy that you generate, where do you store? Storage becomes a major problem here, right? So you have in almost all fields, whether you like it or not, AI is here to stay. As you very rightly said, you have to adapt, learn how to use the tools, so you will not have any problems. Problems are only those people who refuse. When the computer revolution happened, a lot of people did not subscribe to it. They did not even touch. Even though you will be surprised, some people don't know how to boot the system. There are such people also today, right? Unless you adapt these kind of tools, the latest technology, not possible. Another most common problem nowadays is the climate technology, what you're talking of. We recently had a international conference on climate changes, right? Heat waves and I think probably some of my colleagues here, 20 years back, nobody talking of climate changes and all this. This is we have made this. We are responsible for completely spoiling the environment, because of which all these problems have started today. So somewhere down the line, problems we have created, we have to find solutions for it, right? So we create a problem, don't find solutions for it. At some point of time, it becomes a crisis. Then you start crisis management, right? That should not happen. So you should start finding solutions for all this. Whether you like it or not, we have to do it. Large number of people, especially in places like Africa I was talking of, today climate change is affecting them. It's affecting the health of people. So think a lot of things which are here defined here is problem statements are very apt. I think we hope that you can generate more and more solutions which are viable solutions, so that it can be taken to the next level, right? Can develop a product, a prototype, and then a product. You should develop such kind of ideas, right? So I first of all congratulate the Department of Electronics and Communication to think of this particular hackathon, EC hackathon, and for organizing this very nicely, right? And inviting so many people and so many people participating. I'm very sure this is going to help us in solving, if not everything, at least a few problems that is plaguing the society today. All the very best to all the participating teams. I also thank the jury who have come here, right, to judge all these participants and their ideas. Thank you very much. All the very best. Thanks.
Thank you, sir, for inspiring our young minds about what domain that they are supposed to concentrate. Krutagnate Mahan Hridayada Gurutu. Gratitude is greatness. To propose the vote of thanks, now I invite Dr. Gayatri H.
Good morning, one and all. At the outset, seeking the blessings of Swamiji and my respectful pranamas to Sutturu Guru Parampara. As we come to conclusion of this wonderful inauguration ceremony of SruJSShti 2026, it is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks. First and foremost, I express my sincere gratitude to our respected Chief Guest, Mr. Srinath Rangaswamy, co-founder of Digible and AI Automation Consultant, for gracing this occasion. Thank you, sir. I extend my heartfelt thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. A.N. Santosh Kumar, sir, for his constant support and encouragement towards innovation and student development. Thank you, sir. Our sincere thanks to Professor Dr. S.A. Dhanraj, Registrar, JSSSTU Mysuru, and C. Nataraju, Principal, in charge, SJC, and Dean for their support and guidance. I also like to thank Mallu P, Vice Principal, and Manjunath Aradhya, sir, Dean Research, for their support and guidance. I would like to thank our HOD, Department of ENC, Dr. Sudarshan Patil Kulkarni sir, for their dedicated effort in organizing this hackathon successfully. A special note of gratitude to our esteemed jury members, Mr. Murali Ramu and Gautami J, Navya S, and Srinath from SJC STEP. Even though there are professional commitments to support their professional commitments, they come all over here to support and encourage our young innovators. I wholeheartedly thank all the organizing committee members, Professor Shiv Prasad, Professor Yashwant and Ishwari A. Madappa, faculty members and technical staff of Department of ENCE, and student coordinators Jeevashri, Tanmay and Siri Sanjay, and volunteers whose tireless efforts made this event possible. Your teamwork and dedication deserve great appreciation. Thank you all. We also extend our gratitude to the IT team of JSSTU, media, video coverage team for capturing and covering the memorable moments of this grand event. Most importantly, I thank all the participants from different institutions for being part of SruJSShti 2026. Your passion, creativity, and innovative spirit are the true highlights of this hackathon. Finally, thank you to everyone gathered here for your valuable presence and support in making this event a grand success. The future belongs to those who innovate, collaborate, and dare to create beyond the limits. Thank you all. Thank you once again.
Thank you, ma'am. Dear participants, this is your stage, your challenge, and your opportunity. Think boldly, build wisely, and create fearlessly. With that, we have come to the end of this inauguration function. Thank you.
Left, right.